Life at Fairmont Crest has always been complicated and full of secrets, but this time, the crisis doesn't come from the usual romantic relationships or betrayals. Instead, it's the discovery of a long-buried truth that not only shatters what Madison thought she had built, but also raises questions about herself and her family. Madison prides herself on being strong, but there's no denying that beneath her tough exterior lies a deep, never-ending wound, a fractured relationship with her mother that she swore she would never face. Their relationship is an invisible scar on Madison's life, a simmering anger and pain that dates back to her childhood when her mother abandoned her. Madison has bravely overcome that past, learned to live on her own, and become an independent woman. But as the truth about her family gradually comes to light, everything begins to fall apart. Unanswered calls, shattered memories of a mother who left her, come crashing down, forcing Madison to confront her painful past. And then, when Madison discovers that Ted, whom she worked with and considered a trusted colleague at Fairmont Crest, is actually her father, a powerful and overwhelming sense of betrayal washes over her. She cannot understand why Ted kept this secret for so long. How could a man she trusted be part of the destruction of her family? Madison's girlfriend, Chelsea, notices the growing conflict in Madison's heart and suggests she meet Willow, the mother Madison has long rejected. Chelsea cannot ignore Madison's suffering, realizing that the pain from her past is still haunting her girlfriend. Madison's decision, though not easy, eventually leads her to a meeting with her mother, where secrets that have never been revealed will gradually come to light. But this meeting is not what Madison expected. When facing her mother, doubts and questions begin to overwhelm all other emotions. Madison cuts her mother off as soon as she opens her mouth, forcing her to explain why she is only now telling the truth. Madison's mother, in a heartbreaking moment, hands her an old photo, saying that the person in it is her father. It is an unimaginable shock when Madison realizes that the person in the photo is none other than Ted, the man she has worked with all these years. How can she believe this? How can she understand why Ted kept this secret for so long? From someone she admired and trusted, Ted now becomes the main character in a story that Madison cannot accept. Her mother, the one she has poured so much anger and resentment on, now appears as someone who wants to make things right. But does she really want Madison to forgive her? Or is she just trying to soften Madison's hatred for her? Is she trying to protect a bigger secret that she can't reveal? A secret that could make things even more complicated? Madison faces the hardest question of her life. Can she forgive her mother? Or are the wounds of the past too deep to heal? The pain Madison endured as a child is not easily forgotten, but she also understands that the truth cannot be buried forever. The relationship between her and her mother, though broken, can still be rebuilt if she has the courage to face it. But the price may be too great. Can Madison overcome her feelings of betrayal and heartbreak? Or will these wounds cause her to turn her back on everything she has known about her family? Madison's life, for all its strength and resilience, seems to be on the verge of collapse. The truth about Ted and his relationship with her mother not only changes what she knows about her family, but also shakes everything she has built over the years. She will face an internal conflict that will not be easy to resolve, as she must decide between forgiveness and continuing to live in a world where she no longer knows who she is. Will Madison find a way to accept the truth, to heal old wounds and move forward, or will she be forever trapped in the past, where every decision causes her pain? As inevitable truths begin to emerge, Madison will face a future unlike anything she could have imagined. Can she overcome her feelings of betrayal and find a way to live in this world of surprises and challenges? Or will she continue to push the truth away, living in a safe but false world? Madison's future depends not only on her, but also on the decisions she makes, the emotions she chooses to face with the most important people in her life. As Madison left the meeting with her mother, anger and shock still running through her, she couldn't contain her emotions. Every step she took from her mother's house to Chelsea's apartment felt like she was carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. Every thought in her head was a whirlwind, swirling between betrayal and unanswered questions. The truth she had just learned that Ted, the man she had always believed to be a respected colleague at Fairmont Crest, was her father, was not only a huge shock, but also a complete rupture of everything she had known about her family. She couldn't accept that the man she had considered part of a network of secrecy and manipulation at Fairmont Crest was her biological father. The feeling of betrayal was overwhelming, and everything felt like an elaborate lie she couldn't escape. When she finally arrived at Chelsea's apartment, Madison didn't say a word, just walked in, her heart pounding, her eyes filled with worry and tension. Chelsea, used to Madison's toughness, immediately recognized the change in her girlfriend. But Madison couldn't keep quiet any longer. She whispered, her voice filled with exhaustion and disappointment, "I finally know who my father is." The words echoed like a wave crashing against the shore, making Madison almost unable to bear the weight of the truth. She looked into Chelsea's eyes, and although her girlfriend had always been a strong support, this time Madison felt like she was standing alone in the dark, facing something that could not be changed. Madison knew the truth had come out, but she was not ready to face the consequences. At this point, everything was blurry. She was faced with a crucial choice: keep this secret to herself or go public, causing chaos and shock to Fairmont Crest. If she chose to speak out, the shock would not only stop at her family, but also affect everyone around her. Ted, the man she had worked for all this time, would have to face a painful and disturbing confrontation. Did he know about Madison's existence? Did he realize that he had a daughter other than Eva? These questions kept circling Madison's mind, like a knife cutting into her mind every time she thought about them. Ted and Madison had never had a frank conversation about the past, about the secrets Ted might be hiding. Although Madison had sensed something strange in Ted's attitude at times, she had never dared to delve into those speculations. She thought Ted was just a man on the outside of a larger conspiracy, but now she is forced to face a troubling question. Does Ted know about her existence? And if he does, why has he kept it a secret all this time? Can these secrets continue to be hidden, or will they eventually come to light, and Fairmont Crest will face a whole new crisis? The betrayal Madison feels comes not only from her mother, but also from Ted himself. She cannot imagine that this man, whom she worked with and trusted, could be part of a larger conspiracy she cannot fully understand. As these secrets gradually come to light, Madison is forced to face a difficult reality. Can she keep quiet, protect her family and those around her, or will she choose to face the truth, accept the damage it brings, and find a way to start over? Madison's mind raced with these thoughts, and whether she wanted to or not, she knew that a crucial decision awaited her. Would she forgive Ted and her mother, or would she abandon everything and start over, facing what had never been revealed? Whatever her decision, one thing was certain: Fairmont Crest would never be the same again. Chelsea, who has always been there for Madison through her toughest times, will be the first to help Madison face this painful truth. Despite always being strong and resilient, Madison is now crushed under the weight of the inevitable betrayal. She feels like her whole world has collapsed. But in that chaos, Chelsea is still the only support Madison can cling to. With deep love and understanding of what Madison has been through, Chelsea will do her best to help her girlfriend face the truth. But deep down, Chelsea is also worried. She knows that she will not only have to help Madison overcome this shock, but also face her own psychological struggles. Chelsea knows that she cannot force Madison to face everything at once, but she also knows that the more she avoids the truth, the more Madison will be destroyed by her inner emotions. Will Chelsea have the strength to support Madison in this conflicting psychological battle? Will her love be enough to help Madison overcome her feelings of betrayal and the complexities of family relationships she has never fully understood? Chelsea finds that not only Madison, but also herself is facing two difficult choices. One is to stand by Madison and help her find balance. The other is to accept the truth about Ted and the chaos it will bring to both of them at the same time. Madison falls into a state of extreme confusion when facing the most important question of her life. Can she continue to work under Ted, a man she has considered a trustworthy man, or will she break all ties, both professional and family, to avenge the betrayal she has suffered? Continuing to work with Ted will not only cause Madison to face her inner conflict about her professional responsibilities, but also force her to make a decision about her family. While her job at Fairmont Crest had made her successful and able to assert herself, Ted's betrayal had complicated things. Madison realized that every day working under Ted would be a battle with herself. She couldn't help but feel the tension of continuing to interact with the man she now knew was her father. Every encounter, every meeting, could be a painful reminder of the lie she had been living. But on the other hand, she also knew that if she left this job, she would have to face a major change in her life, not only in her career but also in her relationships. Could she find a way to work in an environment where everything had been irreversibly changed, or would she cut all these ties, break all ties, and start over? Madison herself did not want to live in this contradiction forever. She wants to decide once and for all, but the decision will not be easy. Perhaps, to find the answer, she needs to face the emotions and thoughts that she has been trying to avoid for so long. Will she choose to forgive Ted and her mother, continue to live in a family full of secrets and complicated relationships, or will she decide to give up everything, to start a new life without being bound by the past? In all of Madison's choices, Chelsea will always be her companion, but will patience and the strength of love be enough to help Madison overcome this challenge? And can she find a way to reconcile family affection, professional responsibilities, and the complicated emotions she is carrying? This answer will decide not only Madison's future but also the change in her relationship with the people around her, including Chelsea, Ted, and her mother. Madison couldn't shake the unanswered questions that had plagued her mind for days. She felt like she was at a crossroads, where every choice had an unforeseeable outcome. Looking back, the past had left too deep a wound, and now the truth about Ted, the father she never knew, only made those wounds more painful. She wondered if this truth was really what she was looking for, or if it was just a tidal wave that washed away everything she had ever known about her family. Though she had long prepared herself to face the past, this truth was too big for her to accept right away. With every step she took, Madison felt more and more like she was being held back by bonds she couldn't break free from. She had believed that Fairmont Crest and its relationships were where she could grow and find the recognition she deserved. But now that the truth about Ted is revealed, everything suddenly loses meaning. She cannot return to her old life, where she had mistakenly thought everything was stable and safe. Every day working under Ted is a huge challenge for Madison, not only because of the job but also because of the conflict between fulfilling her duty and what she is suffering inside. So can she continue working under Ted? Madison's answer is not simply a career decision. It is a confrontation between personal responsibility and family affection. Working at Fairmont Crest is not just a job, but also an important part of her life. It brings her not only recognition, but also opportunities that she has worked hard to get. However, now everything becomes ambiguous. Is working with Ted, the father she has just learned, still a reasonable choice? Can she continue to live in an environment where the leader is part of the betrayal she faces? Madison knows that if she decides to leave Fairmont Crest, she will have to start over. But the truth about Ted is not limited to work. She will have to face changes in every relationship she has ever trusted, including love and family. Is she willing to destroy everything she has built to avenge the betrayal, or will she find a way to face the truth and continue to live in a world where she no longer knows who she is? However, it is Chelsea who always urges Madison to look straight at the truth. Although it is not easy, Chelsea knows that to help Madison through this difficult time, she must be a companion, someone Madison can trust and rely on. However, Chelsea also has to face her own contradictions. She loves Madison, But is her love strong enough to help her girlfriend through this pain? Chelsea knows that what is happening is not only a big challenge for Madison, but also a psychological battle that both she and Madison must face together. Their lives are not only dominated by external events, but also by the complicated relationships between family, love, and betrayal. Chelsea wants to help Madison, but she can't help but feel scared of the changes that life will bring. She knows that the truth about Ted will change everything, not only for Madison but also for herself. Their relationship will not be the same, and Chelsea understands that there may be times when she will have to choose between love and responsibility. How can she hold on to love when everything around her is changing? With each passing day, Madison feels more and more cornered, with no way out. She can't continue living in this contradiction, but she also doesn't know if she can break everything and start over. Ultimately, Madison's choices will determine not only her future, but also the most important relationships in her life. She will have to face difficult truths, but will she be able to face them with strength and find her way? Or will she be drawn into a spiral of pain and revenge? Throughout this process, Chelsea will be by Madison's side, supporting her every step of the way, even though they both know that the final decision will not be easy. Can Madison overcome the shock and start anew? Or will she choose to leave everything she has known to rebuild her life from a completely new foundation? The answer will affect not only Madison, but also Chelsea's future and the future of those around them. Can Madison forgive her mother, or will the betrayal and pain of the past make it too difficult for her to move on? Will she find a way to resolve her inner conflicts so she can continue living in a world where she no longer knows who she is? Chelsea will be the first to help Madison face this truth, but will she have the strength to help her girlfriend overcome the shock, or will she be drawn into a conflicted psychological war? Will Madison continue to work under Ted and face the conflict between family love and personal responsibility, or will she break all ties to avenge the betrayal she suffered?